What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Gotham Episode 8 review. The episode was The Mask. It was a very good episode, and it introduced, I think they called him Richard Sionis, but his name in the comics and what I know him as is Roman, and I might have heard it wrong, it could be Roman Sionis, but, they introduced Black Mask in this universe, which is really cool. He's a big kind of, business crime lord, not like Maroni and, Falcone are in the comics. He's much more, business oriented. If you've played Arkham City, you know who he is a little bit. And if you've played Arkham Origins, like the video games, you definitely know who he is. But other than that, he's not really in media much until now. He's just been a comic book character for as far as I know. I haven't really seen if he's in the animated series or not. But it was cool to see him introduced. I knew who he was because of the two Arkham games that he's in. Those games sparked my interest in the DC universe, basically. So it was really cool to see him introduced. So now let's jump into the top 5. My number 5, Barbara leaves. A couple episodes ago, she comes back, or like, I think it's episode 3 or 4, they break up, and she moves away, or he makes her move away or something like that. I don't remember. But she then comes back and says, you need to let me in if this is going to work, and so she lets him in, or he lets her in about, like, what's going on with the GCPD and Falcone and all that. I'm sorry, I just drank a lot. Like Gatorade. This is Glacier Freeze. It's right backwards. Oh well. Favorite Gatorade. Squirrel. But she leaves in this episode, so we have more development in that relationship. We'll see how that continues on in next week's episode, possibly. Because when the episode ended, Gordon didn't know she left. The episode ended pretty much with her leaving. So, that's not the final scene in the episode, but it is one of the last kind of wrap up the episode scenes. Number 4, we learn about Fish Mooney's past and motives. Kind of. The girl that's working for her undercover, Falcone, she tells her that, Mooney tells this girl, that as a girl, some man came in, her mother was a prostitute, and some guy came in to use her service, and he didn't like her services, and killed her. And she sat behind a curtain all night and waited until morning, and it was one of Falcone's men. So now she's plotting her entire life to overthrow Falcone, and that's been her reasoning. Then this old lady who was singing earlier came up to her and said, "Why are you telling that girl lies?" I assume it's her mother, because how else would she know that those are lies? So we get a little bit of a glimpse. Motives. With every lie, there is a little bit of truth, in my opinion. So obviously something scarred her from her past that Falcone's men or Falcone himself did, and that's why she's trying to overthrow him. Okay, number 3, Bruce's development. He's now going back to school. This isn't really that big of a thing, but the big thing is he is bullied, and he's starting fights because people are talking about his parents and bullying him about that. So he, of course he picks a fight as a little kid, scarred by his parents' death, being murdered in front of him. Some kid starts to mock him for it. He's gonna fight back. I would too. I'm a very defensive person when it comes to things like that. That leads into my number 2 thing. The person who's leading kind of the group of kids who's bullying Bruce it's revealed, his name is Tommy Elliott. Now, if you know the comics at all, and I do a little bit from Arkham Asylum, which is when I first heard about this character, Hush. Tommy Elliott becomes Hush. Tommy Elliott is a childhood friend of Bruce in the comics. So right now they're kind of butting heads. Bruce ends up beating the crap out of Tommy at his house later in the episode. But in the comics they're friends, so we might get to see that friendship develop now that the boys have duked it out, because, not to be sexist, but this is a kind of a thing. When guys get in arguments, they duke it out, and that's it. They're done. They're cool, for the most part. Girls don't hold grudges, but Bruce duked it out with Tommy, and he's gotten all that anger out. He says it's felt good. It's out of his system, so now they might be able to become friends. Of course, in the future, Tommy Elliott becomes Hush, and is a villain for Batman. So, but obviously, Hush aspect of Tommy won't be a thing, because we're not going to be that far into the future in the show. And finally, my number one thing is, I missed part of my number 3. Alfred is teaching Bruce to fight. Sorry, backtrack a little bit. The final scene, Bruce asks Alfred, teach me how to fight, and Alfred goes, okay. And in the promo for the next episode, we see Bruce training a little bit. Anyway, now, back number 1, we have, Black Mask being revealed. Sionis Industries, Black Mask himself, Gordon versus Black Mask near the end of the episode. It was all very cool to see Mr. Sionis introduced, and he's obviously going to be a big character, not really a big character, but a reoccurring character throughout the series. So it'll be cool to see him possibly come back. So that is it. I'm going to give this episode a 3.5. Wasn't my favorite episode, but it introduced a lot of good characters as Tommy Elliott and Black Mask. It isn't the typical just Black Mask. It was kind of like a decorated warrior, samurai Black Mask, but Black Mask nonetheless. Next episode is Harvey Dent. So we're going to get Harvey Dent introduced, and he's going to be on Gordon's side, working with Gordon. So it'll be interesting to see their friendship and how they interact on the show. So until next time, I've been Epic Gamer. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and share the video. And until next time, God bless. See you there.